Good day from beautiful, historic downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, outside the set of Hudson and Rex. This one goes out to my man Jason down Minnesota way. Jason, this comes from your buddies at No Time for a Podcast and myself, of course. Side note, boys, I had close connections to Minnesota. My dad used to play for the Fighting Saints, and I used to go to Brainerd. For 4 years straight, I went to Brainerd in my late teens and early 20s to a hockey camp that the San Jose Sharks and company put off. And I enjoyed my time there, and I still go back once in a while. Jason, I hear you're a great guy. You're a hockey fan. You're waiting for Minnesota Wild to win the Cup. You might be waiting a while, my friend, but I've been wrong before. Good luck. Guys, I love the podcast, by the way, and my favorite was No Time for a Concert. My favorite two concerts, the Eagles 2014 Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland. The weather was perfect. The band was bliss, and I had friends and family there, so it was special. And in the early 2000s, I saw Paul Simon in downtown Denver, Colorado, in a small little bar, a nice intimate setting. It was hard to get tickets. My buddy hooked me up, and that was anyway. That's my two favorites. I haven't heard of Hairball. Now I have, and it's on my bucket list. So maybe I'll see you there.
They cut the hard line. There's no time. You're going to have to get to another exit.
See a set of keys around here.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time for
podcast.
No, I can't be bothered with that. I have no time for that sort of nonsense.
No time for DNA discoveries.
Whoa.
What up, big dog?
Yo. All right, you can hear me good. I'm all set up.
I can hear you.
Sweet. I'm trying an experiment. We'll see how it works. The dogs each have a bone of their own. It's right now they're on separate couches, so they haven't done well with bones yet. They tend to attack each other when they try to like switch off, like when one tries to grab the other one. So, but they seem to be focused on their own bones right now, which is distracting them from me.
Yep, I know all about that.
Yeah, so there may at some point come howling from the back, run off screen to stop my dogs from killing each other.
Gotcha.
Strange enough, the small one is the fiercer of the two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she can be vicious. Like she like hams it up too. She like plays the like tortured victim, like she cries like. And I look and I'm like, he's not biting her. He's not stepping on her. He's just trying to like get his bone. She's stolen his bone. He's just trying to get it back.
Nice.
And she's making it out like he's like, he's like punched her in the stomach and it's got her like, in the back alley. Like he's going to.
So Pete and I and Jason went to Be First and Gimme Gimmes.
Oh yeah. How was that?
We know how much you like cover bands. No, it was fine. It was good. Yeah. It was good, but we found out some interesting information while we were there. Before we were there, when we were at dinner. Before that Pete will probably reveal on this podcast. So buckle up.
All right.
It has to do with Jason. It's nothing like earth shattering or anything, but it was a pretty funny moment sitting at the dinner table.
Excellent. How's your puppy coming along?
She's doing good. She's getting big. We've been taking her to like training on the weekend and stuff like that.
Yeah. Evan and I did some training classes too.
So we're doing some of that stuff. It's some of it's working better than other stuff. But
yeah,
Gentlemen,
they basically just tell you to give treats for everything, and so our dog is like overly treated at this point. But
yeah, I don't. That's the thing that bothers. Like with the training stuff, it's like you're constantly giving him treats. And I'm like, well, I don't want to like. It feels like I'm just rewarding. Plus, what I buy so much shit for her anyways. Like, why the fuck I have to buy $100 in treats on top of that just so she'll sit?
Yep. And our person never wants us to use that word, so we never use the word sit.
what?
I'm all about sit. Ev knows sit now.
No, like you have a treat and then she so wants it so badly, she will just sit automatically. So you don't have to like say the word. It's very strange. She wants us to introduce the word sit later, but like get her to do the motion beforehand. It's very strange because they don't always naturally want to just sit for you.
No, she will now, when I pull a treat out, she will naturally sit without me saying it, but I still say it because I also say it like when I put her leash on to go out.
Yeah.
I say sit, and so she knows that the word, for me at least, she knows the word is associated with that action.
Yeah, once you get to that point, that's when they want you to kind of use it. So, because otherwise you're like telling them to sit and they're doing weird stuff and they're not doing the right thing.
Does your trainer too say that? Because I do, when I give him the treat, when I have her sit, I wait, like she'll stare at my hand with the treat and I make her wait. Like I'll hold it close to her and I wait until she makes eye contact with me.
So,
Then I say okay, and she takes it.
Yeah, we don't give it to her until she's paying attention, kind of. So
Yep. Which I didn't think anything of that with Bartleby, but it turned out to be a huge thing with him eventually, and then it's been a huge thing with her too. Like, because she will now sit there, like I can hold open handed a treat in front of her face, and she won't get it until I tell her okay.
that's good.
So, she's only 6 months old now, six and a half months old. So
Yeah.
Just like kids, there's time for her to disappoint you yet.
Yeah.
That day is coming.
I disappeared.
I can see your forehead. Oh, elevator down.
Yep. Oh, gosh.
You don't know how many times after a podcast recording I go into work the next day and everybody gets to see my background because I didn't take it off.
Yeah, I had a work call thing. I hopped on before I screen shared. I'm like, take that off. Take that off. My bad.
They're all too aware, so I think it wasn't the biggest thing in the world, but it's funny that it's on there sometime.
Yeah. Well, I'll change mine now that you say that. Background effects. I'll mix it up though.
iPhone 2.
The Langer.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Hello, Vanger.
Hello. What's going on, Peter? Jeremy?
Hello,
man.
What happened to iPhone 1?
You know, for a moment ago, it was iPhone 5. So I don't know. It kind of keeps changing its name on me. I don't know.
That technology doesn't even exist.
I don't know what to tell you. The funny thing is, I'm trying to turn the volume down, and it is not going down.
Get your kids to help you.
Right? No, actually, I am over at hockey tryouts at the moment. I'm sitting in the parking lot with my computer here in my lap and iPhone in the other hand, trying to hang out with you guys.
Gotcha. What is your other hand doing?
Holding on to my
Nope, share a picture. Prove it.
Coke Zero.
Sure, it didn't happen.
I just got an iPhone 14 the other day because my old iPhone just crapped out, like it just turned off and won't power up again or turn back on. And it was free. Well, I mean, I still have to pay for it over the course of 3 years, so it's not free. Which is the advertising is it's free, and that you don't pay anything when you come in the store. So all I had to pay was the $83 handling charge and the $57 in taxes. So it was $0 when I walked in the store.
So is it just offset as long as you have an account? They pay the rest.
Yeah, no, I pay $20 a month for the phone itself on my bill.
So you are paying. It's not like they give you a credit. Some places they'll give you like a $25, $30 monthly credit, so you can get a free phone, but not like usually the best, newest one.
No,
And the kickers too. Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, last time I went to get a new iPhone, I wanted to pay it off. I just didn't want to have the payment. And for them to give you the, $400 or $800 discount, you have to have a payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just ridiculous. I'm like, I don't want the payment for the phone. I just let me pay my monthly fees.
Let me give you my
not
money.
have the extra. Right. And they wouldn't do it.
No, because they make money off you paying it overtime.
Yeah, it's the monthly. Totally get it.
Yeah.
But the interest can't be that bad, right? I guess I never thought about it. I just assume there isn't necessarily interest baked in, but maybe there is.
There's got to be something there.
They're
Something on the books. Frankly, they might just like having all that residual income on the books. You never know.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I tell you what, I have no time for interest.
Wow, good tie.
Sorry, had to say it.
Well done.
Oh, well done. Are you the first professional guest we've had on?
I was going to explain that. See, Jeremy, the name of the podcast is No Time For. So he cleverly wove the name of the podcast into his comment.
Are you explaining that to me?
Yeah.
He didn't ask what the name of this fucking podcast was.
Well, it's kind of written behind at least two of you.
Yeah, here, let me move. So
Yeah. Thanks.
I love it. I mean, I do really love that old man named it after the old No Time for TV plays, which I always love that the plays were called No Time for TV, and they were based on TV shows. So like the name actually makes no sense. That's why it's such a great name.
That's why we continue.
Yeah, because No Time for Podcasts. So like, who's the name implies that you shouldn't be listening to this,
and we shouldn't be recording it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a given. I mean,
I was going to say I would say the quality implies it shouldn't be recorded, but that's
how dare you. Just your part, right?
Oh, well, it's awful. I don't know why you guys keep inviting me back. Or maybe I just keep showing up and finding out when you're doing them.
That's true. This is where we put the crickets in.
Yep. Chirp, chirp.
We're not sure why we invite you back either.
It'd be great if I don't know if Pete listens to any of them after, but if you were to like listen to like an old one we recorded and all of his parts were actually just dubbed over with someone else, like doing different lines.
That's actually the whole point of the podcast is to get a random individual to like voice over my part. Like that's half of the little bit.
It would just look like an old kung fu movie with Pete's and then someone was dubbed over it. That'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys remember the. Old man I know for sure remembers is the classic pick it up videos in which Peter Martin's character is rarely actually played by Peter Martin in the show itself. I think it's at the end.
Yeah, that or I died. I can't remember.
Because I think you went back to your parents for the weekend or something. The weekend that we had the camera, and so we like
on the day of filming, you were there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. All the good crap happened as soon as I left the house. Like, oh, hey, let's have a massive party. Pete's gone. Cool. Thanks, guys.
I think it's funny that Pete hasn't listened back and found out it's been Steve Edgar this entire time playing his part.
Right?
I do listen.
Not Jason, Steve. Everybody got their docs up and everything.
Not yet. Here, I got
results on my phone.
Bear with me. I got to switch. Give me 1 second here.
Got to switch hands. That's fine. Have people
there we go
logged into Ancestry so that we can easily access the.
I got the app pulled up. Yeah,
I mean, you haven't looked yet though.
No, as soon as the results page, I did like
look away.
Well, and I made the mistake. I thought it was going to be a secret from all of you. I didn't realize I was supposed to not look myself.
Yeah, Pete,
So,
you could tell Jeremy the story. We're out at dinner.
Yeah, before concert we went to me first and gimmies, Jeremy Bruiser.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I wanted to say hairball to see if you were yours.
I'm always aware of hairball. Like fucking.
You know what, Jeremy? We should. I was thinking about this the other day, just because I was listening to No Time for Podcast, and you guys were talking about hairball, and I thought, how amazing would it be to have hairball open for me first and the gimmies?
It would be a dynamic duo.
It would be.
I mean, it would definitely be a show I'd never see.
Right?
I'm insulted.
I don't know. That just might be too many covers.
At a couple levels, I'm insulted. But there's no overlap. It's okay. But yeah, so we're sitting there at dinner, and I forget exactly how it popped up. And Lange said, "Oh yeah, with my results." And old man, like, I look at each other like, "What'd you do? Like, do we even invite you anymore?" I don't even know. So we just told
ruined it.
You ruined it. You're obviously you missed the memo or 3.
I did.
And then we ate a lot of meat and drank a few beers. And
well, we know you at least got your results, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not completely blank, so that's good.
I guess I don't know. I'm hoping mine total up to 100%.
Always give it an extra 10%.
Right. Yeah.
So we're getting close to starting. I think what I have on the rundown is just we'll probably introduce Jason and then say where we met him, and then review our percentages and then do the reveals, whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Are we going just like down the list as far as the whole makeup percentage wise, or just? I'm assuming that's probably a stupid question. Yes, that would make sense.
We'll just we'll alternate between. Yeah. That one person goes through, but we'll just kind of rotate and provide commentary, feedback, maybe.
Sure. And since I've known mine for a long time, I can go first too. So maybe that'll be easiest.
Take the edge off.
Yeah, take the edge off. Even though there are some surprises in there.
That sounds good. Well, I'm ready whenever. I do have a
whenever you're ready, host.
Yeah, I gotta try to stop around 9. So
sure. I was just making sure Jeremy could log in more than anything.
He fell asleep.
I did. Yeah, it's not letting me log in. I don't know.
Your email, right? Hopefully you know your email.
You guys go ahead. I'm good. I'm working on it. We can start.
Okay.
Old man, you want to kick this thing off?
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something brilliant on the spot, and I got nothing. Sure. I'll start. And action. Welcome to No Time for a Podcast with your hosts, Peter Martin, Jeremy Bishop, and myself, Eric Kinsella, with our special guest this week, Jason Lange. Jason we've known for a long time, and we're going to do a live DNA reveal. We all send in samples to Ancestry.com, and we're going to find out what our genetic makeup is, our ethnicity tonight. So welcome, fellas. What are you drinking? Pete, what are you drinking?
I got Toppling Goliath Oktoberfest Lager.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not too Oktoberfesty. Usually Oktoberfest a little almost redder and tastes a little bit more like that. But this one, yeah, seems like a lighter lager. It's all right.
Was that one of the ones I left there?
Maybe it's that or one I bought. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what I left there either.
I bought a few 4-packs. So
I think I got through all of your rejected beer.
all the IPAs.
That I took home with me. So
Good.
That was a hell of a refrigerator full of beer, dude. It's impressive.
Yeah, not all of them are refrigerated, but yeah, there's a lot there. When then once Steph found out she was celiac, like, well, these are going away.
I am drinking a Three Floyds Barbarian Haze IPA so far, and they're out of Chicago, or near Chicago in Illinois. Yep.
Okay.
That's where Todd the Axeman from Surly, he went to Three Floyds.
Yeah.
So I've kind of wanted to go there if I ever had that direction, but I haven't had the chance yet.
Well, the night is young,
and Chicago's only 8 hours away.
Yeah, it's not that. Who's driving? That's slow. You can get there in 5.5.
I mean, if you're not speeding, this is correct. And Jason's not drinking anything other than a Diet Coke.
Zero.
Zero.
Yes.
Those are totally different things.
I have a cider from Keepsake Cidery, local cidery here in Northfield.
I think you've had that the last few times we chatted. You must be a big fan.
Yeah, no, I go out there on the weekends sometimes because you can take your dog. So I take Evelyn out there, and she gets to meet other dogs and kids and stuff, and it's good socialization.
Yeah,
for the new puppy. So
no Bartleby though.
No, he stays home. He likes to have his alone time, and I usually give him a bone, and he enjoys that. I've got these I buy these ones that are long sticks, and they've got 3 meat pockets on them. And he loves them, and they take him about an hour and a half to get through. So I'm not social anymore. So when we go out to Keepsake, it's about a 10-minute drive from here, and I have one cider, and we're there for an hour, and then I'm like, well, I need to get back to the other dog. Dogs are great, man. They're such a great excuse,
right?
Got to get home and let the other guy out. He's got to go pee, Also, I don't want to hang out with you.
Who was that directed at?
Everyone.
Humans
in general.
No, but it's fun. We go out to Keepsake. Evan and I have been out there 3 times now, and it's really nice. There's horses there. She's fascinated by the horse. There's 2 horses and a huge goose all in the same pen. There's this horse pen, and we went over there the first time we were there. We went over there because there was a huge goose, and I was like, "Whoa, that's the biggest goose I've ever seen." And Evan was fascinated by the goose, and then these 2 horses came out of the barn into the pen area. And she didn't know what to do about the horses because they're for her, they're giant. I lifted them up like their heads are bigger than her. And so I picked her up and she sniffed them, and she couldn't stop staring at them. So we like to go look at the horses on Saturday. And there's usually music there on Saturday afternoons, just local folky stuff. So we go listen to music for a little bit. Kids come and pet Ev, and she loves the attention. Bartleby gets his bone. We come back. They're both tired. It's great.
What do you get out of this?
I get a hard cider, and then I buy a bottle of cider.
And excuses to leave.
And and then when people at work give me shit about the fact that I'm not social anymore and I don't do anything, I can say, well, I was at Keepsake on Saturday. I went out a little bit. Why weren't you there? So I could avoid you very quickly by saying,
well, you have a plan. That's good.
Yeah, I have a life plan. It's called avoiding people the rest of my life.
All right. Well, old man, you want to get down to it? You want to start with the first?
Well, I thought we just introduced Jason and how you guys met him. I met him in high school, but I have no idea how or when or why at this point anymore.
I don't remember how.
That was through Brian Miller.
No, I know it was through that group of friends, but that's about as much as I remember at this point.
Yeah, no, you 2 played basketball together, hung out for here and there, and I'm sure it's just one of those nights we were all hanging out, and that that was pretty much it. Super simple.
Yeah. We did work at the same video rental store.
Is true.
In North St. Paul at one point.
Polar Video. Yes.
Polar Video. It was our own version of Clerks. You
can
pick who
same
was
timing as well.
Yeah, it was around the same time.
Yeah, it would have been, right? Early 90s there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That place was a little sketchy, but we'll let dead dogs lie or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Great job, but yes, very sketchy. Would have been nice if they would have allowed us to work together, but that's probably
Yeah, we were never allowed to work at the same shift.
no.
That's just sound management.
Yeah.
Right?
But
So
it
you
was
guys-
also super nice to like be able to rent like like I had Sega, so it was nice to be able to rent SNES whenever I wanted to and just bring it home for a weekend and then bring it back and not pay anything. So that was
Smart.
pretty good gig back in the day.
But you guys have known each other like 30, almost 30 years. Is that right? Does that math check out?
More actually, because yeah, we're coming up on a 30-year high school reunion next year,
Good word.
which is insane.
Yeah.
So yes, we
I
probably
knew
met
Brian Miller
freshman,
probably
sophomore
15,
year.
16 year, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're coming up on 33-ish. It's a long freaking time.
What'd you get me for my anniversary?
No.
It's a surprise.
Okay. Good to know. You still care.
Of course.
Do you guys remember meeting Jason?
I want to say it was our walk party.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was there. Yeah.
That's my first
If it
memory.
wasn't, that's like the first time I remember because we sent him out for alcohol a lot that night.
Because we were woefully low supplied.
Yeah, no, so that was that's also like I remember the first time I really listened to Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, looping that all back around. I think it was there. Maybe it was after, but it was close to that time frame anyway.
It all starts to blur together.
Mm-hmm. It was a
I
long time.
remember going with Langer down to the car that you both owned at one point, that black car.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
that Sunfire.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I remember going down with Langer and sitting in his car, and we listened. I think it was Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. I think we listened to in his car. It was something Scar, whatever we were listening. That's all we were really listening to at that time.
Oh, I was huge into ska back in the day. Just a lot of punk in general.
Yeah.
Definitely Goldfinger.
Well, did Jason try to make a move on you in the Sunfire?
Tried and succeeded.
Say, there's no try.
Best
I've
night of my
always
life.
wanted to know. That's good to hear.
Jason, this is I wear this to work still. I don't know if you probably can't see it here. Let me turn the light on.
Oi.
Here's my Goldfinger. Peter bought this for me.
Nice.
What?
Oh, that's
25
fantastic.
Probably, Pete.
Like 2000? I don't even
Yeah,
know if
hooded sweatshirt, Goldfinger.
That's vintage.
that's legit. You could probably sell that for good money.
Yeah. Me First had some like vintage looking t-shirts, like early t-shirts at the concert. Or at
Yeah,
least reprints of them, and at least
Yeah, the try our booze was that's a really old one.
yeah.
I think I actually had a t-shirt like that probably 15, 18 years ago. But yeah, so that's kind of what I remember. I mean, the night's a little hazy, but after about 5-6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I just remember sending this guy I just met to repeatedly go get more alcohol, and he was kind enough to comply with.
Yeah, how many? Do you remember, Peter? How many bottles did we go through that night? It was about 20, I think, in the end.
I don't know. All I know is
Good God.
for a dorm room party, we sold like 50, 60 glasses. It was incredible.
How many of those
Yeah.
bottles did you pick up in the stairwell next day?
Oh, I cleaned it all up because I was a janitor in the dorm. So I remember the Monday Tim the Juggernaut Hoagland was what we called my boss, Tim Hoagland. I don't know why we called him the Juggernaut. I mean, he was, but we called him Tim the Juggernaut Hoagland, and he said there must have been quite some party this weekend because the men's side of Comstock is quite a mess and the stairwells are just torn up. And so I as I did many, many times in my job, my years as a janitor, cleaned up the mess after our parties. But that was the worst because there was WAP all up and down the walls of the hallway, our dorm room, all the way to the elevator.
Oh
Just
yeah.
like people, just streaks of like, I don't know, people were just like pouring their cups on the wall or like probably drunk and like spraying it, and
We had a carryover room or two, so it was people walking to our carryover room, but it's on a different floor. So yeah, it was messy. Not me though. I just stayed on the one spot on the couch, I think, for like 7 hours. Didn't move.
Yeah, you didn't move. You kept that phone death gripped in your hand.
No, I didn't want anybody answering it. My parents.
Yeah, in case your parents called.
Smart.
Hey, very smart. I was instead of just putting the phone in the closet or some shit.
Or unplugging it.
Or just
Right.
completely unplugging it. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of that party was there's 3 guys that I didn't know that came and bought cups and we're in the room and I was like, so how did you get here? And they're like, well, we heard about this party at a frat party, like over
Really?
like our party was it had made the rounds. People knew about it. And it was just a stupid idea. I don't even know how we came up with the idea. Like it was just that we were leaving, right? Like let's just get fucked up and invite.
It spring, but yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, we weren't exactly like super popular, so I don't know how it spiraled out of control like that.
I think this story just grew from you started early enough, and good word spreads fast.
Yeah, even like our friend Haskey from back then, I remember him telling me he heard about it, and like, so it wasn't like third party. Like he was like, "Yeah, I was in Dinkytown and heard people randomly." So it's like from a legit source that we knew. It's like, yeah, it was crazy.
Well, and I got to Schaff came down with some of his frat boys.
Oh yeah.
And, I got to tell them that the party was too full and we couldn't let them in.
Did they listen to you?
Yeah, no, they didn't come in. I mean, Schaff was mad. I would have let Schaff in. He's an old friend, but I was like, he had like 4 guys with him. I'm like, nope, we can't fit him because we
could go to overflow.
Yeah, we couldn't fit him in the room.
For us. Too much sausage. That's just how it rolled back then.
True.
big players.
But I still have the picture somewhere. It's in the frame still somewhere. I think it's just in a closet. But of the girl, it was Pete's wife, Shannon, Kathy, and Amanda took their shirts off, and it's just them in their bras in the stairwell outside of our dorm room. That's from the night of the WAP party. They took that picture, and then I put it in a frame years ago when I lived with Edgar when we first moved into that apartment in Robbinsdale. So I put it in a frame and put it out on the table in the living room just because I thought I'd fuck with him and his parents helping him move in. I think that it's like a metal frame, and I think it just says "girls" on the top.
That totally sounds accurate. Something you got from like Target.
Yeah,
not the implied intent of the frame. Well, last thing I'll say about Langer is the last, I don't know how many years, Langer, 10, 12 years you've been in real estate?
I got my real estate license actually in 2004. So been licensed for 18 years, but been in the industry for 25 years now.
Okay. But I mean, you were doing insurance too for a while. That's what I was trying to say.
I did insurance for about a year.
Yeah.
The housing market, it did what it did back in 2008, and a little bit of a dry spell there as, the market was just terrible, going through all the foreclosures and short sales. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty tragic. So I was like, just didn't quite know what to do at the time. So I thought, might as well try and stick it out with at least the housing market yet, but just wasn't for me. Didn't like it really at all. And, did a little bit of securities as well. I got my Series 6 and 63. Did it for, like I said, just did it for about a year, and I just had to bounce back into real estate. It's just where my passion's been for forever.
Yeah. So you helped me, Langer, with my condo that I had in Minneapolis. That was 2000.
Oh, that's right.
2003, I think. December 2003 was when I closed on that, I think.
Here comes the sales pitch of have you thought about moving again? Now's a really good time. Prices are starting to suppress. What else can I say, Langer?
Right?
You want to you want to buy before the interest rates go up?
Wah, wah.
Yeah, so I've helped Langer's kids are all in co-curricular activities. They all go to private schools, right?
Nope.
2 of them didn't they?
No. They go to a prep school, but it's a charter school.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, whatever. I paid for a lot of Langer's whatever with the.
They're all going to be able to go to nice colleges. Let's just go.
Yes, Pete has helped fund at least 2 of my kids' college education.
Yeah. So, but I did get him to commit to buying me a steak for this now.
That's true. I was there.
Yep. I was gonna say, in case you don't remember Langer, from a few, last weekend, last Thursday. That's the rub. I get a steak.
Isn't that? I don't know, something. I assumed that was what you were doing when you kept eating all that meat when we went out. I thought that was that not?
That was not inclusive of our deal.
Oh, okay.
That was just the benefit of you sharing a platter with me. I just
Jeremy, we had dinner at the place that used to be Legends.
Oh, what's it called now?
It's a barbecue joint now. It's called.
Where we went before the escape room a couple years back.
Yeah,
it was good.
And it's mostly got the same interior, except they got smokers outside.
Yeah, they have to go outside now.
Is there still the storage room downstairs that you can just walk into and I can steal stuff from?
Oh no,
that was one of the best features of I stole so much shit from Legends. Bleep all this out.
We did get caught one time trying to take something off the wall and bringing it out the front door, but
Yeah, well, that was a huge, like, that was one of those like huge wall sized posters that I tried to take, and that was only because the fucking dishwasher was sitting at the next table, and he copped an attitude with me.
Yeah, he was very
But
very
it's
angry with you.
something? That's strange.
They do still have the nice central bar, like that part is still pretty decent about that.
No, it's a great building. Like, it's a good. Does DJ Two Knives still?
His name did come up,
we did not see him.
but yeah, I don't think he works Thursdays.
DJ Two Knives. That was a real DJ 25 years ago. DJ Two Knives.
Yeah.
There were no softball teams there to speak of either on a Thursday night.
A different clientele.
But
Yeah.
was Steve Isaac there? Was our old landlord from 1700 Como there?
Do you think he still owns 1700 at this point?
If he's smart, because that's just free money.
Or
Yeah,
should I say,
never-
does his dad still own it?
His dad, yeah, because he never owned it. His dad owned it.
Well, I don't think his dad is with us anymore because he was old back then.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Do you think Corsica Man still lives there though?
oh yeah, there's no way that guy left.
And do you,
Probably just kick
do you
his
still
car.
think he's wondering who kicked that dent into the back of his car? Because I'm not going to admit that it was me, but it was me.
But you're not going to admit it.
But I'm not going to admit it.
Good
Dude,
enough.
yeah.
I think you just admitted it.
In my defense, I was very, very intoxicated.
Yeah, well, that's a really good defense. Whether you're driving, yeah, just give it a shot.
I just remember Zydzik asking like the next week. He's like, yeah, I forget what Corsica Man's real name is, but he's like, yeah, whatever Corsica Man's real name is. He, like someone in the neighborhood like kicked his car this last weekend, and there's a huge dent in the back. And I was like, oh, that's terrible. That's horrible. Who would do that?
Not
So
me.
if you're
Not
curious
innocent Jeremy.
about who owns 1700 Como, it is still DZIEDZIC.
Zydzik, yeah.
Holy wow.
Still own it.
Wow.
Sweet.
Well, maybe Logan or his cousin will move in there at some point, and we can relive.
Oh, absolutely. If they do, we're going to tear it up. We can put some body dents in the wall and crap.
Yeah, how we hung that twister board over the body dent in the wall so we could like hide it. And then like the last week we were living there, Zydzik just came in and took the twister thing down and started filling in the body dent. We're like, you know about the body dent? And he's like, yeah, like this is my property. This whole time you've known?
Yeah, he wasn't an idiot.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we've been told we should get to the point on some of these. I'm not sure that's going to happen this time, but
That's true.
are you guys ready to do your reveals?
Sure.
Yeah, let's start with.
Why don't you go ahead, Eric?
Sure. Well, we'll just go over the predictions that we had beforehand. So,
You still haven't documented?
yeah, I have them documented. They're on the Google Doc there. But so I should have done a better job in our hobbies episode where I've been doing genealogy research and stuff over the years, and so like I guess that has been one of my hobbies. I don't know why it didn't come up when we were talking about things, but I've probably been doing it for 15, 20 years at this point. So I got my DNA tested 10 years ago, about kind of probably around the time your brother did, maybe, Peter. But like the research I had done, like I had like 4 sets of grandparents, and they were kind of split between Irish and Swedish and German and Polish. And I thought my makeup was probably somewhere around 25% of each of those. So that's where I thought it would end up at. And then Pete mentioned that he thought it would be 9% African, 23% Polish, 38% Swedish, 15% German, and 15% English.
Does that total up to 100?
I did the math earlier, and I think it does.
Cool.
And then once we do your reveal, we'll go over that again real quick beforehand. But Jeremy, I just mostly have down mostly Norwegian, and same for Jason. So
Well, 25% putts for him, I thought.
Yeah.
yeah, in the fine print. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Putt slash schmuck.
Schmuck is like 13%. That's different. They technically distinguish between those.
Schmuck is old school. Like that is something you don't hear anymore. So I will share my screen here, and I will show you my DNA results. And it pretty much lines up with a lot of that. Like here it says 25% East European and Russian, and then it breaks it down basically to Polish. So about 25% Polish, and in the southern part of Poland for mine, near Slovakia, And I've had a cousin that was really interested in that side of the family. One of the Tom Shocks, and found out where our great grandparents came from, and it's called Rytro, Poland, and it's in the southern part of Poland there near the border. So it's like the border is like over the years have moved like more northern and more southern, and sometimes the family was in like Slovakia or Czechoslovakia back in the day, and sometimes it was in Poland, depending on where the border was drawn. And then so also 17% German, which kind of lines up with what I had thought. My mom's parents came from Germany, the Griegers, so that kind of lines up. My dad's mom is from last name is Peterson, so we thought most of them from Sweden and Denmark. So there's 15% there, and it breaks it down to like the southern part of Sweden, kind of near the fjords. And the O'Reillys are from Ireland. Big shocker. In it's an area called Munster. There's like Dark Island, I think, is one of the other areas. And so then also 12% in Scotland. So that's 15 and 12%. So it's about 25% for the O'Reilly side. And then there's a whole bunch of miscellaneous. And probably the most interesting one is 7% Jewish people of Europe.
Are those gypsies?
Sometimes, but it's just like the people. It's basically the Jews from like the German and like the Northern European Jews, not the one from near Israel and stuff. So yeah.
What's a healthy mix of different?
Yeah, different. Yeah, so I knew I was probably a bunch of different things, and then what's the nice thing about Ancestry? They also like will break down. I have both my parents have also done DNA tests, so like tells me which side the percentages come from, which is kind of nice. And then also like it goes down to your DNA communities, like where it can pinpoint, like where it knows that you will have early ancestors from. So early Wisconsin settlers, people from Wisconsin.
Okay. I'll have to check. I'll have to see if mine's in there then, because I did Ancestry.
Yep. And then southern Poland, obviously, Ireland, and then the other one that's kind of interesting is we have French ancestry, but it comes through Canada of all things. So there's a family line that like Quebec and Montreal area. So kind of interesting. So that's basically my breakup. So mine was pretty close to what I thought it was, other than some of the Jewish and French Canadian stuff. So
hold on, you have 13,000 total DNA matches?
Yeah, I have a lot of matches.
Your lord.
That's
so,
a lot.
but the other interesting part about that is when you go to your matches part, like they break it down like by percentage and like how close you first cousin, second cousin, and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so 13,000 is all the way down to like 0.005% of people.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty distant, but
yeah, but you can like click on that part and.
But no unknown kids or siblings.
No, nobody's really popped up other than there's a guy up in near Brainerd. He's like a half cousin of my dad, and it's unexplainable. Like no other matches on any of the trees, and he matches multiple cousins of my dad and my aunts and stuff. So a lot of the people like Paul Catella, Marlos Catella, my brother has done it, and then my aunts and uncles. So all the matches like pretty much are people I've come across or talked to over time.
Okay.
So that part's been fun to find out. One of my great grandparents is adopted, so that's where the Jewish part comes in, and it's been kind of fun to like follow that line and figure out where that might be coming from. And his family is originally from England, and then from there to Northern Europe, somewhere in Germany. So nice. I will stop sharing, and I will let Pete go next.
All right. So let me see if the app is still open. I have not looked at this at all. So what was my numbers again? I'm sorry. What was it?
You thought about 10% African, 20% Polish, 40% Swedish, 15 German, and 15 English.
All right. So part of my guesswork was based off of my my one grandfather was off the boat, or his parents were off the boat from Sweden, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then we have my one grandfather we thought was supposed to be German. He's the one that we got the African American from, I think, if we have it. And then my one grandma too had to be German because her maiden name was Gerstenkorn. And then the other one, I forget what we thought, but she was Polish. I knew she was Polish. I think years ago, when they just kind of came out, like, it's probably 15, 18 years ago. Ancestry had like a free trial thing, and we found out like my one grandmother, my paternal grandmother, must be Polish. So I'll be curious to see how this comes out.
Yeah.
So it says 30% Swedish and Danish.
Okay.
That was compared to 20. What did I put? 25? 20?
38 or so.
Okay, a little higher.
Yep.
26% England and Northwestern Europe.
Okay, you had like 15.
So 14% Norwegian.
Okay.
Oh man. 12% Germanic Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the first fun one. 6% Nigerian.
Nice.
Obviously, anybody that's met me in person could see that. 5%
Your
Irish.
nickname is the Nightmare.
Right. Yeah. 5% Irish.
Okay.
3% Finnish. 2% Benin and Togo. Try to see what this is. West African.
Yeah.
Profile similar to Nigerian. 1% Senegal.
No.
And then 1% Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu peoples. So, I mean, that totals up. I mean, I guess I didn't think of having a mixture there, but, that totals up to 10%.
10% of African descent. Yeah, it's pretty close to what you thought.
Yeah. So I would say that, I don't think there's any big surprise. I guess a little bit more England and Northwestern Europe than I would have thought based off the family history. And the Swedish, that was probably mostly my one grandfather. I guess, honestly, Polish. There's nothing. Why did I say that? And I thought my grandma and my maternal grandmother's parents were like off the boat Polish. So like that's interesting. I guess I did not know. I don't know which mix she is, but she might be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's a mix of Danish and English. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. A little bit different than I would.
That was on your mom's side. The Polish should have been, as you were saying.
My dad's side.
Your dad's side. Your dad's mom.
Yeah.
Or her grandparents.
Kind of interesting, but yeah, a little mix.
So how would you feel about finding out more relatives? I know you found out about a sister kind of later in life, but like if you found out more cousins or other stuff,
yeah,
would you be surprised?
Let's look at the matches tab. Oh, pro tip. Yep, got it.
Pro tip.
Second cousins, wrote Leak, Calvo. I'll have to look because some of the second cousins, their names I know, like I don't maybe hang out with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these names I definitely don't know. So it'll be kind of interesting. I'll have to see, and we don't know my dad's side really at all, since my grandfather kind of wrote off his family because they didn't like him marrying a white woman. So that's the other thing. It'll be kind of interesting to see if I have like, a lot of African American relatives on here.
Matches that come up, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is disproportionately like white people doing DNA tests. So there's a chance there's less of those matches than there probably like out of a population of people. But
yeah.
And then also the thing I found out too is doing this a little bit like there are different DNA kits and things in different parts of the world. So like if you were doing a lot of research for like Irish or English, there's a different kit that you can get that is more of that population of those people that are currently there use. It's called living DNA. And so I've gotten more like direct matches from that, from English and Irish people from that one. But
okay, you'll have to dig in. You can. It looks like I can. Like I literally haven't played with the app at all, right?
Yeah. No, you can dig in a lot. You can even, as long as people have it like the settings open, you can email them through the app. You don't know their email address, but you could like message them.
Yeah. Okay.
Stuff like that. So
yeah, that'll be interesting.
And that's how I ended up getting contact with one of my dad's cousin that's helped me out over the years the most. Like they had lost contact years and years ago. So their family moved to the East Coast and ours stayed in Minnesota, and both dads had passed away pretty early on. So like the families kind of lost contact over time. And so it was an easy way to like rekindle over Ancestry. Or not super easy, but it was an interesting way of doing it, finding out about it. Who wants to go next?
Don't all speak up at once.
I can go. Where's my phone? So mine's not anything that I didn't expect.
It's 100% Norwegian.
Uh-oh.
I think you froze for a second there.
Oh, so yeah, my internet connection is kind of going wonky, but 72% Norwegian. Because my mother,
72? Really?
yeah, my mother's 100%, and my birth father was percentage wise Norwegian. Then about 17% English, which was also from my father's side.
Gotcha.
And then the other stuff is just a bunch of small, just European, a lot of Eastern Bloc countries, just little percentages here and there. I was the one thing I was hoping to find from it is as you guys know, my birth father had given birth to two other children from two other women. I know Annette, who's my half sister, but James, who's my half brother. I was kind of hoping he would show up, but he didn't show up in it anywhere. So
In your matches so far?
Yeah, he hasn't obviously done it, and I did find out I have 17 children out there somewhere. No, I'm just
The lower number than I would have thought.
You were busy in college.
Yeah, I was busy in college. But yeah, that's about it. It was nothing surprising.
Yeah,
Those are big percentages to be. 75% is pretty rare. Like there's a TV show on PBS that kind of does something similar, and no one's hardly ever 50% of anything at this point, especially in America, anyways.
I think that'd be especially for second, third generation, that's a pretty high number.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Oh no, I mean, my grandpa and grandma were both Norwegian. So my mother was, 100%, and then my birth father, he was probably about 50% Norwegian, 50% English.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I have no idea, but guessing somewhere around there. So it's stuck in the blood.
It does explain your affinity for Sven and Oli jokes.
Yeah, well, they're good.
Yeah,
I also like them because they're good.
Would you? Does it spark your interest to go to Norway at all, knowing how much of a percentage you have?
Yeah, except for I'd have to fly across the ocean, and I'm not.
I'm
never fucking do that. I did it once. With you.
Yeah.
With you and Peter and sure, that was a lot. Like that's never going to happen again. But I would love to. I mean, I would honestly love to. And if I ever came across the opportunity in life where I could go to Europe for like 3 to 4 months, I would probably risk that flight. But I wouldn't be able to do a flight like that there and back for like a week.
Yeah.
Like it's not in my system to handle that. So if I win the Powerball, like, yeah, sure, I'll go.
Gotcha.
Or when,
yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd love to. My mother loves to travel. She's been there now a couple of times. My grandfather has been there. He was there. Edwin was there a couple of times before he passed long ago, and it'd be cool to go to see the land. I have a friend. You guys have met him, Jacob, my friend that used to live here in Northfield, Big Jake, who worked at the Cow. He lives in Norway right now, and I talk to him once in a while. I FaceTime him, and he'll show me, how amazingly beautiful it is there.
It doesn't sound bad from the pictures I've seen. I think I could handle it.
Yeah, no, he'll just show me. He'll just like turn his phone and show me, like, he's like, yeah, this is out my backyard of my apartment, and it's like, oh my god, like I've got some shitty pine trees and a bunch of dog poop.
Yeah.
You could have that on a fjord. I mean, all right, Jason, your turn.
Drum roll.
I mean, this is brand new to you. You didn't look before.
No, this is complete and utter shock. So one of the things I guess that I thought was pretty interesting is that I was 100% Northwestern European. I truly didn't expect that my family would have been isolated to such a small part of the globe.
Mm-hmm.
76.5% Swedish and Norwegian, so 76.5% Scandinavian.
Yep.
And
You did?
so I did a 23andMe. I didn't do the same one that you guys did, so the data is going to be a little bit different. So the interesting thing I thought is the way that they break it down is based on cities and counties.
Yeah.
And in Norway, they gave me 10 different cities that is more than likely the the region that my family would have been from. And then it's the same with Sweden. So it's 10 and 10.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. Then 17.7% French and German. That would be definitely from my dad's side of the family. What's that?
You mix French and German?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the early Ancestry ones were that way too. Like the populations mixed more than you would have thought. I don't remember exactly why. I remember reading the breakdown, but
Okay.
a lot of times they're listed when they can't pinpoint it, they're listed together quite often.
Okay.
But the funny thing is with this one, it gives me it says French and German, but then it gives me 3 different locations for Germany only.
Oh yeah.
Yep, which is surprising. And then going a little bit deeper, 2.9% British and Irish,
Okay.
1.3% Finnish, and then 1.6% broadly Northwestern European. It doesn't really give me much to go off of. I think it's that last bit's a bit of a Hail Mary.
Yeah, those ones seem to be like they're still figuring like populations out for that sort of stuff. Other than they know it's in Europe, that's pretty well all they know.
Yep.
But no Congolese, huh?
No.
Cameroon?
No Cameroon. No Cameroon. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. And then, you kind of go and you jump into people who have similar DNA to you, and it's amazing how many people are out there. I mean, I didn't have, what was it, 12 or 14,000 like Eric had. I think mine was only listing 1,500.
Yeah.
Which, is still a lot. And then it did break it down into very, very small percentages of like a 0.5% of the DNA structure is similar. I've got a cousin, actually, first cousin. She's 12.5% same DNA, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is the fun part of if you have multiple cousins, like you can they get different little mixes of breakdowns and stuff. So you get a little bit more information of like kind of where people may have come, what region people may have come from in certain countries and stuff like that.
It kind of honestly, it somewhat makes me want to try another Ancestry, Ancestry.com, and see if maybe someone's gone ahead and done a DNA test there versus 23andMe again, which is where I went.
Yeah, there are different groups of people for sure. There are people that do multiple, but the Ancestry one seems a little more active, like in the sense that like people email you back and forth, seemingly more than the 23andMe. I've kind of done similar amounts of emailing and got more response from Ancestry. But I also think those people are also like building trees more, like family trees and things like that more often, and doing a little bit more research. So there might be more open to doing that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But no, like half brothers out there that popped up out of nowhere.
No, nope, nothing at all like that.
I did verify. They said my brother is a full sibling.
Nice. Turned out mine is too. I mean, we look so much alike.
You're both pale. That's about it.
We're both pale, and
right? Yep. He's next level pale.
Oh yeah,
he is.
He's got a lighter shade of pale going on there.
Yeah, almost translucent.
Right.
Yep. And there's more redheads now on our side of the family, so the pale continues.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I found I'm trying to see how many total matches I have. I see matches, but I don't get a count. But that might just be the app.
Yeah, I think in the app's a little bit different than if you go to the website proper. You'll get a little bit more of a breakdown.
Yep.
The other cool thing is like in your DNA matches on the website part of it, you can also search by like common surname or last name, and if they have a family tree set up or something, it makes it a little bit easier to search. Like if you're looking for more the Martin side, you can put Martin in, or if you're looking more on like the O'Reilly side for my side, it'll just show you those matches that have people with those names on there, and you can just look at those DNA matches.
Okay.
Like if you're looking for something or to contact people. So
Mm-hmm.
what is my family tree on the Kinsella side is up to 277 people right now, I guess. So I'm constantly adding new, so we're trying to find out more about the adopted side. My great grandfather, I might edit this and put the real details, but my great grandfather had 2 kids in Minnesota, and then his wife passed away. He put them in an orphanage and then moved out to Portland and had 2 more sons. And so there's like a whole different set of family that we've been researching and trying to contact to find out more information over the years. And so I'm always looking for matches with the last name Barrel and different things. So that's where my research ends up going a lot of the time to find out more. But yeah, it's been a 10-year kind of on and off again, kind of like your brother and your sister have done over the years, Pete. Like kind of goes in waves. Like you get real interested in it for a while and you kind of go away and come back to it over time. And then there's more matches in your DNA matches over time too. Like people like during the holidays, people buy kits and things like that, and more people will come online. So that's one other thing to look forward to. So from that.
No, I'll dig into mine a bit more. I just gotta see if I want to spend like how much money I want to spend to open it up.
Yeah, there's that.
It's pricey. I think it's like for a full month, it's like a 60 or something.
Yeah, if you want to do more like tree research and stuff, I think like the tools just for the DNA and contacting are free at that point. But if you do much more than that,
It's like that ain't cheap.
that is not cheap.
No, I'd be busy that month.
Yeah, there is a place in Mendota Heights that's called the Minnesota Genealogy Society, and also at all the public libraries they have Ancestry accounts that you can use free of charge, and so you can go to the library and get on their system and get a login and do your research there.
Okay, awesome.
So if you don't want to pay the $60 a month,
Yeah.
there's also a site called FamilySearch.org, and that's by the people in Utah, the Latter-day Saints. They have a whole set of records that they have buried in a vault down in the ground, and they've been keeping track of everything for 100 years. So they've been keeping different records and stuff they've been scanning over time. So a lot of it's digitized now, which is really awesome, and you can search just by name, and depending on like military records and all that sort of stuff, after a certain number of years, like 25 to 50, depending on what it is, they become available and people can research against them and stuff like that. So they become public domain. So, and then some of these sites like Ancestry, like digitize them so that they make it easily searchable over time.
Yeah, I was amazed. I mean, that was almost 20 years ago again, or 18, whatever years ago when I did was on Ancestry and was searching old census records and searching by name, and found out like my grandfather's family came from Indiana, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the 1950 census just came online. So there hasn't been a census for the last 10 years, something new to look at. So people are pretty excited about seeing the next step in that stuff too. They're pretty jazzed, and it's not fully digitized yet, but like I was able to see what house in St. Paul one of my relatives was living in recently. So
yeah, that's kind of funny too. Like we saw that like my grandparents had a boarder, living with them for a while, and
yeah, that's interesting. Or like my grandmother and my dad and oldest aunt lived with my aunt for a while, like in their house that I didn't know about. And my dad doesn't remember. He was like 3 or 4 at the time.
Yeah.
So
that's where I found out too, that my grandfather was at least part African American, because he was listed as, I think, Negro on one thing and then mulatto on
another one.
Census record. Like,
that is a term that it doesn't get used all that often anymore.
No, I was like, that's okay. That was like official terminology back then.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'll have to see if I mean that was years ago. I should probably go on. It would just be interesting just to find those like his specific census ones, and from when he was and just pull download those. And
yeah, and then they have like what job they held and stuff like that. And sometimes it'll just say laborer or something like that, but sometimes it's like very specific, like even what store they worked at, or those sorts of things. Like for my grandfather, like right out of high school, he worked at Schneider Drugs in St. Paul, and so it was listed there as his occupation, was just kind of funny before going over World War II or whatever. So
all right, well, I'm sorry, I gotta hop. I got work to do, unfortunately.
Working man's a sucker.
I am a sucker. At least
working man is a sucker.
I've really been a sucker the last week or two, but
I hope you're getting paid extra for this, Peter.
My company probably is. But
that's not how that should work.
Yeah, I know. I'll make it up. I'll take some time off or something.
You have a big project coming to an end or something?
Yeah, we have a few projects going on, and they're just very abbreviated, like taking half the time that they should. So I get to be in the middle of it.
Well, if you guys find out anything more that's interesting, let us know. I'd be curious to hear more if you dig into it more.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the cool things is I know that my family's done a lot more than what is being shown here online. Audrey, my middle child, ended up doing a report on our family. My mom's side, specifically the Haugen side, and she was able to trace it back to like the 1400s. So there's a lot of, some a lot of really cool information in there. So I'm happy to go ahead and chat with you guys about that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's going back a ways.
Yes.
Is that
the French Canadians on our side? Apparently, I've looked at somebody else's tree, and I haven't been super interested in it, but they like go back to like French royalty, not like super high up like a king or anything like that, but but it's kind of funny that they moved There was a TV show that was like people moving over from France. It was like kind of the outcast from society moved over to the Canadian side, and there was like lots of men, and then they sent over the second daughters and things like that to come over to Canada. I'm like, oof, that's rough.
That's right.
That's rough. We're gonna marry you off so that we get a little money back in Europe and you can have a life in Canada.
I recently tracked my family all the way back to 1997, and I'll let you guys know about that in a future episode because it's pretty startling information.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, way more interesting than Langer's family going back to the 1400s.
1997, you said.
97 is more relevant. It's more relevant.
It is more.
It's classic now. It's classic radio. So 1997.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably
they're playing it on KQ now.
Speed or Net. The Net came out probably right around that time. Like there's some major cultural iconic moments that happened in 1997.
When Sandra Bullock was Heartthrob.
Was?
Yeah.
Wait. Who said was? Yeah,
you're gonna set Bruiser off here.
Those are fighting words. She was a elite hacker.
That's when she began.
Ooh, yeah.
Too late, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Is this post Speed 2?
What's that?
Was this post Speed 2, 1997?
Oh yeah, because Speed would have been 93 probably.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty clear we need a rise and fall, or just in the peaks and valleys of her career as the next podcast. And Jeremy can be pro, Langer can be con.
Yeah, can we do a Sandra Bullock podcast? That'd be awesome.
It would be amazing. Like, we should actually research this and what's her best movie? What's her most underappreciated?
All of them.
I mean, I could either research her or I could just refer to my Sandra Bullock notebook that I keep.
Yeah.
Next to on your nightstand?
Yeah, it's already got all the research.
Yeah. Alrighty, gents. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Talk to you later.
All right. Good to see you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yeah, take care.
See ya.
Bye.
There's no time for last requests.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Look, Betty, I've got no time for games today. Now,
There's no time for a bench test. Heat 'em up.
Settle down, but the dreams I've seen lately keep on turning out and burning out and turning out the same. So put me on a highway and show me a sign and take it to the limit one more time. You can spend all your time making money. You can spend all your love making time. limit one more time.